So welcome all to the James Exchange, and this is my very first in-person video. Little presentation for you all, or I'm sorry, y'all. And I'm with Terri Long, and Terri and I are sitting in the Gallery on Valley, a SCAN, Scottsville Center for Arts and Nature initiative, which started less than 6 months ago, and Terri is the very first single artist show here. So Terri, welcome to the James Exchange.
Thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Last time you were with me on the podcast, we were talking about trash pickup.
That's me, an Uber recycler, and yeah, I got to clean it up off the roads.
So when I look at your work, I somehow go back to that first interview, trash pickup, because it looks like you love found objects.
That is correct. Whether or not it's cleaning them up from the roadside and depositing them, plastic to the right container, metal to the right container, or maybe perhaps a little broken, rusty nail for me. I like to kind of clean up the environment around me, and I also see value in found objects that wouldn't necessarily have the appeal to everyone. I like the idea of repurposing them and shifting them around and maybe making them into something else.
So you also are known in the greater Scottsville arena for your skills in putting all of these objects together into one cohesive.
That is the goal. Yeah.
So you and I have known each other for years. We started out with the Scottsville Council for the Arts.
Council for the Arts.
And then that sort of went away. But they used to do really good things, that photography show they had.
Right. A lot of really good juried shows came through. There were some juried art shows and they would be held at Victory Hall. Mm-hmm. And then there was a really wonderful photography show. Jennifer Byrne helped kind of put all that on, which was in the building, which is now the Scottsville Supply, which was the ABC store, which was the pool hall, which was many things. Scottsville has been very accommodating for arts and locations. And you and I have had this great history that way.
We have, and we do sometimes pick up trash together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can think of many of time, and you were like, okay, late April is too late. There's too much poison ivy on the road. And I'm like, that's right. We need tall boots. We need to start earlier. We need to start in March. Yeah.
And we need Dan Gritzko because he is the king of poison ivy, getting rid of it. So maybe he should go ahead of us next time, and he can get rid of the poison ivy.
That's right.
Anyway, sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
So getting back to your work, and we can take this piece right here.
Yeah.
I see different kinds of nails. Bent, not bent, no, that one's in, what is it?
I have wrapped some paper around it.
Okay.
So I've collaged on top of the bent nail. Yeah. This is a typical thing that I like to do. I found a small little 5x7 canvas, and I played around with it in ways that I hadn't before. I took some new copper, and I chose to kind of wire onto it several of the bent and rusted nails that I found. Frankly, I salvaged from around our house and yard back in 2018, 2019. And then a little bit more of an addition. So there is a little rhinestone on top of some collaged paper. There were some old medicine bottles that had an interesting sort of handwritten canvas label on there. So a lot of what I like to do is distress and make a little older, but then also bring in items that have been, given away, found, lost, broken in a dumpster, and tell new stories. That's my little line. I like to tell lost stories with found objects. And this is a pretty good example of the way that I would put things together. And in this case, I'd call this one an assemblage, which is not just paper collage, but also adding in other physical elements on it. So I like a 3D nature in a lot of my work.
So do you have a studio at home?
I do. We have a nice old house right here in the town of Scottsville, and it had been once one of the twins' bedroom, and I got to take it over. So it's an upstairs studio, and it looks out over our backyard, and it's a wonderful place to retreat to. Yeah.
Yeah, the studio. Yeah, in the studio I'm working toward at my house is in the front of the house, and it overlooks Tiger's Market.
Okay, well,
a little different view than what you have.
Right, yeah.
Well, let's take a walk into the gallery. This is the Associates Gallery, and again, you are an associate member of SCAN.
Yes.
And you highly recommend working artists to become
very much so. Yeah, I didn't get to come to the opening. My husband came. It was about 5 months ago, and I knew this little gem was down here, and I was waiting to have some time in my life to come in, reintroduce myself, become a member, and see how can I help. So I started out right away by volunteering to gallery sit. So I've met a lot of the other member artists who are the ones who gallery sit on the hours. It's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I will be here this Saturday gallery sitting too.
Well, good. So anybody who wants to come in on Saturday, you get to talk to the artist about her work. So that's a great incentive for you, everyone out there, to come and join the party.
Right.
Let's go into the other room.
Okay.
I mean, I barely remember the details of it. I just know it was during one show where we were in the lobby afterwards talking about how neat it would be. There's so many local playwrights and local thespians in the area that it would be really nice to showcase their work and to do some sort of playwright festival or feature local playwrights in some way. And so, I don't know, we revisited the conversation at some point.
Yeah, and I think the original conversation, it was also around the time that we were starting to look at upgrades.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, actually Sophie was there too, because we were talking about the fact that if we did something like that, since we wouldn't have to pay for the rights of any of the shows, that all the profits could go directly back to the theater for lights and upgrades.
Yeah. So luckily, we have, over the course of the last 3 years, gotten grants that have gotten us some upgrades to the light and to the sound equipment. There are some more upgrades we would would need to make running shows a lot easier in the space, so we're hoping that the proceeds that come from this will help with that as well.
Yeah.
So this is a local playwrights festival, and you have how many playwrights?
7.
7. So all original work.
All original works.
And I will mention that while we chose 7, we had 22 submissions.
Wow.
So.
Yep.
So tomorrow night's opening night,
Yes.
7:30.
7:30.
7:30.
7:30 on
Friday,
Friday.
Saturday,
Your
same
calendar.
nights.
And there's plenty of tickets for those, but everybody's Sunday is sold out.
Sold out.
Sunday's sold out, but there's still plenty of tickets for tomorrow night, which is opening Friday and Saturday, so get your tickets and come on out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Have lots of fun. And thanks for doing this.
You're welcome.
This is a piece that really charmed me when it finally came together. It was 3 different pieces. The last time I had considered them and I actually showed them in a gallery in Stanton in 2024. And they had various different elements of them, and I always wanted to take it a little further. And then I literally laid them all together, and for me it popped. I had that moment where the patina began to shine, where it seemed to gel for me. And I'm not so vested in every single element that I'm not willing to take something apart or ruin it. So I don't feel like I ruined the 2 pieces behind, but I felt like the sum parts of it is just, I like it so much more. There are some old wooden pieces that have little burnt edges on them, and I like the nails coming down and the composition, also with the gray, the little bit of the gray and the patina on top of the copper pipes that came from salvaged from our house fire. So the white blackouts and the kind of really soft faded pale papers and the statue. Just really liked a lot of the way it came together for me. And I am a little bit of a pack rat, and I like to salvage interesting items and the juxtapositions of things and materials that you wouldn't necessarily see and put together. Many grandparents like doilies and would decorate with certain items around the house. Well, these aren't used very much anymore, so I've combined them with buttons and coins and paper and faded paper to bring something else out of it, and even some thumbtacks in there. And then, yeah, just kind of juxtaposition. Okay, let that one go.
Juxtapositioning. Yeah. So you have some that are very elaborate, and then you have some that are not. And we can go right here to this corner and look at this very top piece that has, it looks like shelf brackets, nails, a variety of things, and then go down to this bottom one that just has barbed wire on, it looks like barnwood.
That is exactly what that is. And the devil is in the detail, which is these were all separate pieces of barbed wire that I put my leather gloves on and I wove together. So a lot of actual intricate detail in that, and the whole play off the fact that you think you might see this sort of part of fencing out there, but truly they were all broken pieces put together. And the barnwood is exactly that. I think of this as like On Beyond the Fence Row, and the title of it is The Old Moon Place. It reminds me of when you might be walking in a back field and you see evidence that an old homestead was there. And the piece of wood I actually bought at the Habitat store in Charlottesville. But I salvaged all of these little pieces of barbed wire from around my house and from, you know, some fields nearby, and slowly brought them home and was literally teaching myself how to weave them in place. And there were a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that didn't work, but I enjoyed the idea of putting this together. I love the play of the shadows that you get, and I like what it evoked in me personally.
And you take that one that's right up top that has many, many, many
elements
right,
again, disparate elements, but looking to see if you can get a kind of cohesive combination. Fun playing around with shapes moving into each other and curls, and you know, even from right here on Valley Street, there's a longleaf pine. So I love collecting these needles and some rusted nail gun nails and insulators from an old home, and as you pointed out, some brackets, and some smoke and fire stained parts of an old wood ruler. So,
well, there you go. So there's one piece in here that's different from all the rest.
Okay.
And I know this is from some of your earlier work.
Okay,
and
right.
I'm just going to turn this around.
Yeah, okay.
And it is the book covers.
It is. Going back to 2005, I did a very extensive series. I made about 25 of these, what I call book quilts, and they are Reader's Digest condensed books. And some of them were from like 1957, some from 1956, from the 70s, from 65, 88. And I was fascinated with them because they became almost throwaways. No one wanted to sell them at a library book sale. Mm-hmm. So I would get these by the pounds, and then I just got fascinated by the covers and playing around with them. I have a lot of friends who are actual quilters, so I began to collect the covers the same way a quilter would collect fabric. Uh-huh. And I had hundreds of these book covers in our house, so I made about 25 different quilts. And I actually borrowed this one back since it'd been since 2005, and I did a little bit of rehab work to it. It has held up very well, very sturdy framing on the back here. But because they're book covers and they're fading a little bit, they needed a little touch up in a few areas. So I made sure it was good to go. So some good friends who bought this from me in 2009 let me borrow it back.
Well, good. So I'm just going to pan around. While I'm doing that, would you talk about your influences?
Right. So with collage and assemblage, famous collage artist Robert Rauschenberg. He's got some work actually at the Virginia Museum of the Fine Arts. I love his work. He was the first person I knew to put together like a tire and a rug and a quilt, an actual painting, and have it all hold together. Joseph Cornell, who is famous for making his fascinating boxes, and there are some of them up at in Charlottesville at, it's not the Bailey Museum anymore, it's the Fralin. Locally, there's a woman named Rhonda Roebuck, who I've always really liked her collage art. And she was a photography teacher out at Western Albemarle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of word pieces in here, so I'm inspired by musicians, Laurie Anderson and Tom Waits and Talking Heads. This is the time and this is the record of the time. Yeah.
So at your gallery talk, you spoke about some Japanese influences.
I did. And I'm gonna, just so I get the names right on everything. One of the first ones was Wabi Sabi, which has always really fascinated me. It's the idea of the appreciation of the broken and the worn. Again, the green verdigris you might see on a rusted, copper pipe. Even a broken branch that's hanging in a certain way, an old wooden paddle where all of the wood, where all the paint is mostly faded off of there, or in this case, a rusted old bicycle from the 1950s that's out front. So the idea of appreciating and still seeing the value in something that is kind of on the way out. It's on the decline, and the beauty might not be apparent initially. Then, let's see, I'm going to get the name right on this one. There's another style of art. It's called kintsugi. I might not be pronouncing that right. Golden repair. And that is where if you would have a piece of broken pottery with all of the shards, if you gather them together and in the mending process, you apply lacquer and then you apply a gold or silver or platinum. And this like electric fascinating color comes together with the original pottery, and you see now this is better than the original and definitely better than the broken piece. And I love the idea of the mending and disparate objects coming together, and nothing old has to stay that way. You can find a way to transform it into something new.
That's great. Any parting words?
Well, it's been a great opportunity. I'm thanking Nancy and Stevie for the opportunity to be a member and be showing here with Scan again. Since early 2000s, I've had shows up and down. I've showed my art on Valley Street and 5 different locations, so this is wonderful to add a 6th place to show my art. So the show will be running. Here's my little card. August 14th to September 7th. Mm-hmm. So I'll be here this Saturday, gallery sitting from 10 to 4. And then I'll be here on Sunday the 7th from noon to 4.
That's, so on Friday,
yeah,
on the 5th,
yeah,
I think it's 5 to 7. Muddy Paws is coming to the gallery, and
wonderful,
we're doing a wine tasting.
Wonderful.
So maybe you want to pop
in
on that too.
I am probably in on that as well.
So
right.
Now everybody, you have 3 opportunities.
All right, things are unfolding. 3. Wonderful.
So Terri, thank you so much for spending
Thanks,
time with me this morning, and I'll let you know when it's live.
Okay, great.
Thank you.